Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has arrived in Saudi Arabia following the weekend attack on the kingdom's oil facilities that the U.S. is blaming on Iran. President Trump announced increased sanctions on Iran just today as the Pentagon presents options for a military response. But lawmakers on both sides of the political aisle are calling for caution.
I do believe that any kind of action should get the okay. Any kind of significant action should get the okay of Congress. My worry here is that they'll bumble into war. Even if they don't want a war, they'll bumble into it because there's been no long-term strategy.
Joining me now is the ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Republican Congressman from the great state of Texas, Mike McCaul. Good to see you today.
What does
bumbling into war mean? I mean, we have chiefs, we have the Pentagon. What is he talking about there?
You know, I'm not quite sure I agree with that assessment. I was in the White House when the president was trying to decide how to respond to the U.S. drone being shot down, and he exercised great caution and restraint in the matter. He does not want to escalate this. The president has no appetite to start a new war in the Middle East. I heard him say that, publicly and personally. So I don't think that is really the case here. And we're not going to bumble into a war. We're going to do this very thoughtfully. The Pentagon's doing an assessment. We're going to make the case to the United Nations and the World Court of Opinion on this. But I do believe that Iran was behind this, and it was unprovoked, and it does deserve a response.
All right. I want to get your reaction from Senator Mitt Romney, who says he doesn't think the United States should retaliate with its military. Let's watch, and then I'll get your reaction.
That's their decision. We will support Saudi Arabia, our friend in the region. I do not believe it would be a wise choice for us to engage in kinetic military action of our own. We're not the policemen of the world. Saudi Arabia, we sell a lot of weapons to. They have the capacity, with the weapons we've sold them, to respond in the way they think is appropriate. But one nation attacked another. That doesn't mean the United States needs to get in the middle and start using our military might and threatening our men and women in uniform.
Congressman McCaul, you say what?
Well, they did not attack a U.S. military asset. That's very important here. It was Saudi, but it hit 50% of their production, 5% global supply of energy. That does impact the world. But I would argue that I agree with many points that he said. We shouldn't go alone on this. Neither the United States or Saudi should go this alone. I signed off personally on a weapons sale to Saudi Arabia to help them better defend themselves in the region so we don't have to get involved in all these conflicts in the Middle East. So I think the administration right now is playing it right. Pompeo is over there right now talking to the Saudis about getting our European partners to join us in the maximum pressure campaign, which is obviously working right now because Iran is so crippled, they're getting very desperate.
When you say we shouldn't go this alone, who would join us in opening fire on Iran in retaliation? Anybody?
Again, I think what they're going to try to do is make the case to the United Nations Security Council that Iran was behind this. That European partners need to join us in the maximum pressure campaign. Short of that, we did supply them with a weapons sale. We do have advisors and logistics coordinators over there that can help them respond, and that's why I approved this arms sale in the first place, was so that they could better defend themselves in the region.
All right, real quickly, just the last point on that. Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi killed. All of our intelligence pointed toward Saudi Arabia. Does that ever come back into the conversation as we are dealing with how to give a blessing or how to help after these oil facilities were hit?
Yeah, I think the murder of the journalist Khashoggi is a major setback for the Crown Prince, a major setback for the Saudis. It really hurt our ability to arm them with military equipment here in the Congress. But I do think the reason why it was done was so that Saudi could defend itself against Iran, the largest state sponsor of terror in the region and the biggest threat to Israel, the state of Israel. And so I think that we need to move on and look at the geopolitical realities as they are.
All right, real quickly, President Trump has named Robert O'Brien as a new national security advisor. Can you tell us what your reaction to that is and the timing of it?
I think the timings are very good. He dealt with the United Nations Special Envoy to return hostages. I met with him in my office last month. Very impressive man who has a lot of experience in the State Department and in the United Nations, which actually, given the events of the day, may turn out to be a very wise choice.
Good to get some more detail on him, and always good to have you on the program, Congressman Mike McCaul of Texas. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Harris.